You ask, why are guitar strings tapered or necks tapered at the nut? Well, it took a nut like me about, I guess the first 6 months of my life, I guess my teenage years when I was 17 years old. I was building my first dual guitar, and I put tapered necks, two of them. In fact, I put a guitar on the bottom, well, bass on the bottom, and guitar on the top, and quickly found that when I was playing up the neck where the strings were wider, it was really fun. But when I got down there, my fingers were touching two strings on both sides because I was playing not only horizontal, but vertical, and it was making a great big difference. So I said, well, wait, why does the neck have to be tapered? I mean, why can't those frets be open? First off, when I went to learn guitar, however many years ago, I guess when I started when I was 14 years old, I had problems down there. My fingers, I was a kind of a 6'2" character, and my fingers were so big that I almost quit playing guitar because I just was fighting those other strings I was touching. You know what I'm talking about. You all go through that. So I decided when I built that guitar, I would leave the bass the way it was, but widen the opening strings just a little bit. And then on the general neck later, when I patented another patent on the electronic mute, and even before that on the dual guitar, I actually widened the neck so that when my finger went down in the neck or sliding up, or even if it was vertical or horizontal, I really didn't touch that other string. And so I didn't have to worry about it. Well, then I built the first guitar that I built for taking to trade shows. I think that was about 80, 85, something like that in that era. And at the NAMM shows. And I had this guitar. I'm going to bring it up and show it to you because it's kind of interesting. I had this guitar right here. You can see me over the top of it. And I built a perfectly straight neck. And I flattened it back here so flat that you'd almost think that it was you'd wear through. But I flattened it on the back, and I made it absolutely straight. Well, that was amazing. First time that I put it out on the aisle at a big NAMM show. They get 20,000 people for a show like that. I put it out there, and it was amazing how many people stopped by and said, "Oh, why would you put such a big?" In fact, even Eddie Van Halen said that the first time he walked up to my booth, gave me a nice little mini concert that brought a lot of people in. I wish I could bring that type of a crowd in. But he said, "Can I play that?" He picked it up and he played it for long enough to get a nice audience. I mean, they actually, security come up and said, you got to move out, or you got to do whatever, because they watch that pretty closely. They want people to move along through the show. He played it for about 10 or 15 minutes. And he says, wow. He says, "I know why you put a wide neck." I should have said the wonderful Eddie Van Halen, who during my life was a friend, but not a close friend, but he was a good friend. And he played it for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. When he was done, he said, wow. He said, "I would have never believed that a straight neck was easier to play than a tapered neck." He says, especially when you're tapping, because when you tap, you're going up and down the neck and your fingers, you're not worried about that small neck. In fact, I could never really find a reason except that maybe before the guitars had the truss rods they have and stuff, possibly they wanted it to be narrower. But when it's really in the area of playing different ways, like on my touch guitar, I actually went quickly to a wide neck up above. In fact, I think it's 0.55 is my minimum, and almost 0.6 spacing between strings. That's 0.6 of an inch. That's over a half inch, obviously, 0.55. But man, what a difference it made. I could slide all the way up. The strings didn't touch the other ones. And of course, I had the electronic mutes. So the string was always off. And you either had to have the fret down or the string. And that actually turned on the string. When you pick that up, the string would automatically go off, tapered by a computer to a natural sound of a guitar pick coming off and the string coming off. And so I stayed with the straight neck, and I've built several of them since. And I've really just hesitated to tool for it because I've really never advertised that instrument or that straight neck like that it would be. But I am going to do that because the people at that show, I suppose maybe 100 people. I don't know if it was 60 or 100 people, but probably 100 different people during those 4 days played that. And if I'd written those comments down or did a voice recording, you would have seen that actually 9 out of 10 said, "Wow, that's so much easier at the opening, the first 6, 7, 8 frets. It was just nice to play in." And I had some people come up, and I actually did a little thing where I brought people up that had never even played guitar. I said, "I want you to go over here and take this guitar." We had our guitars up there with the typical tapered neck at the nut. And then I would say, "Now I want you to play this one." And it was amazing. It was amazing. So to answer that question, why does the guitar neck have to be tapered? It does not. You can make one that plays faster. I flattened out the back of my necks nice so that they were very thin up there because you got more wood to support the strings. Also, with my patented tension-free neck, obviously that makes a big difference too, because when you have a rod that supports all that strength of the strings, you take that off of the end of the neck, and the neck vibrates much better. In fact, one of these days I'll show you a little demo on that. So no, my answer is because it's become traditional. Why it became traditional, I'm not a history expert enough to tell you that, but it doesn't have to be.